this looks like a pretty good hand. I'm gonna keep this. I think it's sweet. We get to slam a Submerged Boneyard into Kitesail Corsair and Slippery Scoundrel, just kind of keep going. Probably Deadeye Tormentor first, actually, just to do that little bit of disruption. I probably would like to replace these with something, but for now, when you're starting out, hard to get a full collection immediately on Magic Online. We've talked about that before, or Magic Arena, excuse me. And Deadeye Tormentor fills the role out pretty well. Just a nice little body and disruption. That's all we really want to do. Keep our opponent on the back foot. I would love to have a Freebooter here, but we'll have to settle for Kitesail Corsair. And our opponent is just thinking about this. Maybe has an opt in hand. It's pausing, so it's likely that they have something. Most people don't go into full control mode, as it were. So I'm going to guess that they just have opt. Maybe cycle a sensor. Yeah, there's opt. In general, you can tell by where your opponent's pausing whether or not they have something. It's certainly possible to go full control. You can shift control and lock in full control mode, which always holds priority. But other than that, if you don't have anything to play, then the game will actually just auto-pass turns for you. So if your opponent's pausing, the odds they have something are very, very high, which makes it easier to play around things like Magma Spray, because if they were, for example, playing a mountain, we would have a pretty good idea that we were about to have our Kitesail Corsair killed. Alright, Seeker of Insight is a little bit annoying. Kind of scary. They're going to have a lot of creature removal, which does mean the Stormtamer is nice, but I worry about this. Do I Deadeye Tormentor, or do I Forerunner? I think I'm going to Deadeye. Get a card from them right away. It's more effective to wait, but I'm not 100% certain that I'll always have a creature able to attack. With a blue-red deck, they tend to have just a ton of creature removal. They play all the Braids, Lightning Strikes, and Magma Sprays that they can get their dirty little hands on, and that's tough for us to have an attacker through. Get rid of Desert of the Mindful. Sure. So I don't mind getting rid of that. And now it's probably a Dreamcaller Siren, although it really depends. I want to get Forerunner into Kitesail Freebooter if I can. We'll attack. It might be good to Dreamcaller and then wait so that we can go Forerunner plus something in a turn. Maximize our mana. But if we do this, we are also getting a bunch of extra value by making our opponent lose life. Fairly likely that they have a Cancel or an Essence Scatter or something like that here, though. Which does mean that they get to use Seeker of Insight. Yeah, they're thinking very hard about this. And what do we have? Some free metal, there we go. Seemed pretty obvious there was something, but we'll just pass the turn now. Hopefully our opponent speeds up a little bit. I know that the interface is hard to get used to, so people are slower at the start of the learning curve of a new system like this, but you're slowly getting people moving a little bit faster, starting to get closer to the old Magic Online speed, which is not particularly fast. It's still, like, this is never going to be, I think, as fast-paced as something like a Hearthstone or an Eternal. Not even like, oh, the game is more complicated, just that it's going to be a little clunkier. Kind of has to be because of the complexity. Siren Stormtamer. I really want to get that down. Well, let's get our attack first. If our opponent will let us. Might be thinking about killing the Kitesail. Still have 5 cards in hand. I'm not sure how I feel about just running the Forerunner in. Like, I might want a Dreamcaller just because it does make their turn a little more awkward. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna pass. And our opponent's gonna think again, decide whether or not they want to remove it end of turn and use Seeker. But we've got 2 damage a turn coming in at them. It's a 7-turn clock, so it's not particularly fast, but they need to do something eventually, and if we can do this at the end of turn, it's a much better threat. Aha. Well, good news, we get to resolve everything, I get to tap both of those, get a bunch of damage, and this kind of shouldn't matter, because we just smash a bunch. Ooh, wow, Siren's Ruse. I think I just want to play... Do I just play Stormtamer and nothing else? Hold up Ruse and Stormtamer? Right now we're hitting them for 7. It's nice to get Forerunner down, though, because honestly we can just kill them with that. This is a really close turn. I mean, I could also Siren's Ruse the Deadeye Tormentor to make them discard right away. Alright, let's attack. I kind of like making them discard. And I really want to draw that card. Another card would be, like, another land would be excellent. We really, really need another land. Stormtamer seems fine, though. That'll make things really awkward for them to get rid of the Dreamcaller. With 3 cards left in hand, they can't have all gas. And we're going to stop at least 1 removal spell. Got rid of Hieroglyphic Illumination. Six damage in the air, protection from removal. We're looking really good. I don't want to call it yet, but it feels nice. Siren Stormtamer is such an annoying card. I love watching our opponent read it multiple times. It's like, wait, I can't abrade this Dreamcaller Siren? No, no you cannot. Yep, I have the mana up. That is correct. You can mouse over it all you want. They don't have enough mana to actually kill it and play another removal spell. Like something like Double Abrade or Lightning Strike or something like that is the problem. And they don't have enough mana to do that. It's looking really good for us. Ooh. Forerunner. Really like this Curious Obsession. I think Curious Obsession Kitesail Corsair is kind of the best thing we can do. Let me put it on this Kitesail Corsair so that we have multiple threats. And this is in fact lethal too. I'd be very surprised if our opponent doesn't have anything to make us sacrifice the Stormtamer, though. They've certainly acted like they had it. Magma Spray. We will stop the Magma Spray, at least. And they can't counter that because it's an ability. So even if they have a cancel or something, it doesn't matter. They can cancel the Curious Obsession. But I get to keep the 2-1, and that's the important thing. Sure. Like, the way more important side of this is that I get to keep the Kitesail Corsair. And we get to play another one. Opponent down to 2. Us having 3 flying lethal creatures feels pretty good. Opponent's seeking pretty hard for some answers. They can certainly have them. I mean, they're going to have 3 cards. They get to look at another one right now. If they have, like, Enigma Drake, Mountain, removal, possibly. Well, even that doesn't do it, though. And they don't even have Double Mountain. There's the win. Nice. Yeah, so that was pretty much exactly what we wanted to do. We just kept them on the back foot with the tempo and flew over their head again and again and again and stopped them from doing anything. It was really sweet. So, got a pack for our trouble, and we're ready to go for game 2. Double Kitesail Freebooter and a Corsair. I think we have to keep this. Opponent decided that they do not like their hand. After a considerable debate. They do keep this one, though. We don't get to see where they scry it. They've got 61 cards left. Goodness. Alright, we're on a brew here. So, 68 card deck. Or 66? 67, I mean? Yeah, because they mulliganed once. 67 card aggro deck? Is that what it is? Might be. Alright, what do we have in hand? Magma Spray and Lightning Strike. Well, make them use the Lightning Strike at least, and then we can get the Magma Spray. Little Lightning Strike this, it uses most of their turn, unlikely they can play anything else, and then we get to Freebooter again and be pretty happy about it. Forcing them to counter it with the Lightning Strike there seems pretty good for me. Now, if they're smart, they should respond with the Magma Spray. Nope. I mean, they might have more removal that they're hoping to draw into later, but I think I would probably just pop that off when you don't have a whole lot of action in your hand. The hope that you draw better is not something I would be looking for myself. Back to Freebooter, and let's just make them discard more cards, shall we? The red-white, they might be dinos, so taking lands out of their hand seems pretty good. I imagine they discard the plains. It's not super powerful, but they don't have a lot of choices, so making them decide between 2 cards is pretty good. Through the Lightning Strike into the Magma Spray to kill the Deadeye. Fair enough. We do get a Forerunner of the Coalition down, though, and then we're in great shape. Probably get a Hostage Taker here. I don't see us losing this one unless they have some very good top decks. Maybe Fathom Fleet Captain, actually. That card takes over a game fast. I'm going to Fathom Fleet. So we can Kitesail and Fathom Fleet, or we can Kitesail Fathom Fleet, depending on whether or not they play this. So, like, we can either Corsair or Freebooter. Freebooter if they don't play the card, so we can make sure that the Fathom Fleet Captain is safe. If they do play the card, then it's just Corsair. Get down as much power as we can. Yeah, I see our opponent as being in a lot of trouble. Seems like they're an aggro deck, and it's kind of a problem. Do I even want to block? I mean, not particularly. I don't really want to give them the 3/3. Alright. Corsair and Fathom, please. I would attack to get rid of this so that we have a better chance of getting the Menace through. The problem is that they just buy it back, right? It's got Embalm, so there's not a whole lot of point in doing that yet. However, we'll get another Forerunner. And I think just search up the Hostage Taker. Freebooter is unlikely to do a whole lot more, so I'm just going to play it out now so we can deal a bunch of damage. Try and get a little bit more fly-in action in here. I mean, it's only 1 damage, but it is 2 off of the Forerunners as well, and they're in a bit of trouble. Let's go take out... What do I want to take out here, even? Nothing's super relevant. I guess Martyr of Dusk is okay. Raptor Hatchling's fine too. Yeah, they're just kind of dead. Oh, this hand is interesting. A single island and we're in pretty good shape. Double Kitesail Freebooter is also just really tempting. I think I'm going to keep it. We're on the draw. This seems pretty reasonable. We get to do a lot of disruption. We get the Deadeye Tormentor. We've got a little bit of pressure in the air. And with just 1 island, we've got almost everything else going too. I like taking the risk on this one. Sometimes you just gotta gamble. Well, maybe not in Magic, though, because Magic is definitely not gambling. Fathom Fleet Captain. That is scary. I said it takes over games fast, but I want to see their hand without playing our own first, honestly. Ooh, yeah, we do not need a Fell Flagship, so let's get rid of that. They also kept a dicey one, trying to hit their mountain for the Dire Fleet Netbreaker. Can't block that. Not sure if I would if I could, because of the menace. We know they have a March, so I could Kitesail again. Can also just attack and Deadeye Tormentor them, but they can just discard the Swamp. Slippery Scoundrel is okay. I'd love to get our own Fathom Fleet Captain down. That might just be the right choice. So I think that's what we're doing. Next turn, if we draw a land, then we can go Kitesail plus Fathom Fleet. Yeah, I wanted to see them play that Swamp out for a Deadeye Tormentor. Do I want to use this, or do I just want to, like, Deadeye or Freebooter them again? Kind of want to do this. If we're not even using cards, I think we're way up in the board. Woof. Another Swamp. That has to feel pretty bad for them. We're going to draw another land eventually, and then we'll be able to Deadeye, or Kitesail and use the Fathom Fleet. Yeah, I mean, we're winning this race. I don't mind doing this. If they get a mountain, they get the Dire Fleet Netbreaker, which does... Wow, they're getting really screwed here. I mean, we haven't drawn any lands either, so it's not like smooth sailing for us, but it's certainly not as bad as it is for them. At this point, we just overload the board. Screw beats Flood, especially when the Flood is also Screw, as it turns out. Woo! Nice. Those were fast games. We just went 3-0, super easy, super quick. This is a sweet deck. I honestly was a little bit worried about it. I played it a bit, but it seemed good, but it is missing things like the Hostage Takers. I wouldn't mind more Dire Fleet Poisoners, like another Fathom Fleet Captain or two would be nice. This is far from tricked out, as it were. And yeah, this list was good. If you want to trim the deck up, if you actually have more Hostage Takers and things like that, I'd take out like Stormfleet Spy and Deadeye Tormentor, some of the one-ofs, you know, like Deadeye Tracker and Curious Obsession. These are not exactly perfect. This is just, there's a few decks that use Empalm and Eternalize, things like Scarab God. So Deadeye Tracker can be okay. It's a little bit of late game reach that you don't normally get, but it would really be easy to replace it with Hostage Taker, let me tell you. Same with the Stormfleet Spy. Like, it's an alright card, but nothing amazing. And if you have another Hostage Taker, I'd certainly recommend that. But yeah, I mean, overperformed, so I really like this deck. It's pretty sweet, and you can tell if people stumble, it's really, really nasty, and this deck really helps them stumble because you get so many ways to disrupt what they're doing with the Freebooters and the Tormentors, and just stopping them from killing any of your flyers with Siren Stormtamer. You can finish off games really fast, really early, and it's definitely a lot of fun. So I like this deck. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I will see you next week with another deck. I want to shout out, though, that I am going to be playing in a Dominaria special release for streamers. So on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Ilyon, I will be, and it's linked down below, I'll be playing a special Wednesday pre-release for Dominaria. It starts at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I get a special account provided from Wizards so that I can play a bunch of cool stuff and kind of show off to you what Dominaria is going to be like on Magic Arena with a bunch of cool brews. So we're going to get hooked up with a bunch of special cool extra cards and other, you know, goodies like that, some in-game currency and things, I think. And we'll be able to show off a lot of real cool stuff for you. So I hope you tune in then, and I'll see you next time.